Don't let anyone tell you that quitting is a bad thing. If you gave it your all and you realized it's not for you, how is that a bad thing? If someone were to ask me, do you remember the day that your childhood dream was crushed? I would tell them yes, in a heartbeat. I know the day. I was playing soccer. I had gone on this incredible journey of wanting to be a better soccer player. I had made improvements, in my first year of high school. I played really, really well, and I wanted to play professionally. That was my dream. As I got older, I knew, okay, maybe I didn't have what it took to be the next Bellingham, but I knew that I could be good. Maybe I could play in college. I'm at this college showcase with a team that I was trying out for. And I'm playing, and everything was just going wrong. I had terrible stage fright. I couldn't find my footing, and every mistake I made was just bad. It just got worse and worse and worse. The coach got so frustrated that he pulled me off the field. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just, it's not my day, I guess." And I remember the look in his eyes when he told me this. It was very It was very cold, and it was very sincere. And I feel like he told me this because he saw a part of him in me. And he said, "You really got to decide if you're going to play." And I'm like, "What? If I'm going to play what? Like CDM or CM? Like what position? When? Like how I'm going to play?" And he says, "No. You really got to decide if you want to play this sport." I had spent at that point, I would say like a good 8-7 years of my life trying to improve, trying to get better. And as I think a lot of us know in youth sports, it's hard. It's really hard. You have this dream, you want to be a professional whatever, football player, basketball player, you want to be a professional golfer. It looks so beautiful, but the truth of the matter is that moment made me really realize a lot of things, and it made me reflect. And what it really made me realize was this: it's time to stop. The journey for me becoming a professional football player was over. How? Bro, you're not supposed to quit. You're not supposed to quit when you really, really love something. When you feel like that is your thing. You are going to make it by any means, and you know you're good at it. But to me, it was just a dream. Let's be real. It was just a dream. I didn't have what it took. And that conversation with that coach, I hated that. I hated it. I didn't like the fact that he told me the truth. Because when I really thought about it, anyone who would have been in the position of I am going pro no matter what, they would have heard that and be like, "Let me prove you wrong." Let me prove you wrong. But I didn't. I had more fun and I had more energy towards learning how to edit videos, towards learning how to be a craftsman, towards learning how to be a filmmaker. I just had more energy towards that. And I knew that my soccer dreams, it was time to stop. It was just time to stop trying to lie to myself that it was going to happen and that I wanted it, because I didn't. I didn't want it. When you're playing with people who wake up in the morning and the first thought is to kick a ball, it's kind of hard to compete. If you're in a field where you're not, you don't have the it factor, that determination, that grit, it's hard to keep going. And don't get me wrong, I still play soccer to this day. I love soccer. It is my favorite sport. But I just didn't love it enough to go pro. I just didn't. I just wasn't good enough. And at a certain point, I had to realize that stopping and quitting was okay. It was fine. Did it hurt my ego? Yes, but I still went into the rest of my high school years playing soccer, the rest of my club years, with let me just have fun. Because I don't have what it takes. I'm not willing to commit that time. It is just not something I want to genuinely do. And a lot of us will come to this kind of position in our lives. Not once, but many times. Many times. You will try something, you will learn that you're good at it, but you will learn very quickly that there are people that are way better than you. Way better than you. And that will either motivate you to keep exploring your talent and get to their level, or that will make you realize it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Or you'll realize that you want to do it as a hobby, that you just want to have fun with it. And that's great. I had some incredible memories playing IM soccer at the University of Georgia. I loved it. It was so fun. But I knew that I wasn't going to be playing on no club team. I wasn't going to be playing no professional. It's just not me. I wasn't good enough. And this decision to stop, single-handedly the best decision I made in my life. Well, one of them. There's levels. There's a lot of really good decisions I've made. There's a lot of really bad decisions I've made. But realizing that it was time to stop and the energy that I could spend, I could use elsewhere, right? The energy that I had for soccer that I was putting in, going to 2 trainings a day, trying to do, learn how to do a Rabona perfectly so it goes upper top bins. Like, that same energy, I could use it on learning the things that I actually felt like, hey, I'm good at this and I can be generational at this. And I want you to do the same. Because the sooner you realize this, the sooner that you realize that maybe there's things that you need to stop, the sooner you have the freedom to start new things and to get really good at new things. And maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're doing something artistic and you actually are like 6'7" and you should be in the league. Maybe this is your calling to try that. Maybe it's time to stop. Maybe it's time to switch the angle. If you've been trying something and it's not working, and you see people are like, you got to try a different angle. I wasn't always making yap sessions. For a long time, I was trying to make funny videos, and it wasn't clicking. And I realized, all right, maybe it's time to stop. Maybe I got to, go back to the drawing board and find something that I actually really like and share that. Maybe you got to try it out. Maybe you just need to quit. And don't let anyone tell you that quitting is a bad thing. If you gave it your all and you realized it's not for you, how is that a bad thing? You did the thing you were supposed to do. You tried it. You tried it. You were successful at it. That's great. It's a beautiful thing. But at some point, maybe you lose passion for it. Maybe you realize it just wasn't for you. It's a beautiful life when you really start to be honest with yourself and you start to look through the lenses of what you can gain and not what you can lose. Because when I decided, I'm like, soccer is just it's not it for me. It was hard. Listen, I wanted to rep this badge during the Euros, standing on the field next to Lewandowski and Błaszczykowski. I had this dream of that, but it's just like there was no work that was willing to back that. There was none of that. It was like, oh, well, one day. But I was sitting at 16, 17. I wasn't playing anything exceptionally, and I was playing against people who I knew were just out of my league. They had spent years noticing that they had a talent and developing it. And everyone's on their own time, but sometimes the best thing you can do is take the hint and realize that it's time to stop. It's not working. That's fine. Let's go back to the drawing board. It's one thing. You wanted to play lacrosse in college and you didn't make the cut. That's cool. Let's find something different that you're passionate about, something that you love equally. It won't happen overnight. You got to spend time on it. That's life. But realizing when it's time to hang up the boots, it will save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of energy, a lot of heartbreak, and a lot of lying. That's when you're honest with yourself. I don't want to do this. I can't do this. But what I can do is put all of my energy into this thing because I love this thing. When you get on that wavelength, it's wraps. It's over. And maybe you're doing the thing right now and you're realizing that is your thing. And if that's the case, you keep going. You keep doing it. But if you're wishy-washy and you think like, this isn't all that is planned for me in this life, it's time to stop. It is time to stop. Maybe it's time to stop taking it super seriously. Maybe it's time to take a step away from it. One of the best things I did was my junior year of high school. I actually played water polo for 1 year, and I loved water polo. This is how I knew soccer was not it for me as well. I played water polo for a year, and I was like, why didn't I do that from my first year of high school? I loved it that much. It's worth a try. It's totally worth a try. Damn. Fast boy. Don't feel guilty about quitting. Don't feel guilty about saying, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to try something else, because that's how we learn about who we are and what we want to genuinely do. Zerky Show. I love you so much. It's a beautiful day today. And I'm just enjoying the views. Stay grounded, do the things that you love, and know that maybe it's time to stop and try something new. 2 announcements for you. The first one, we are in unprecedented times. I don't know really what's going on, but what I do know is the Zerky Show is committed to being here every day, bro, for you. You can watch it with your eyes. You can listen to it with your ears. Whatever you please, we got you covered. Here you go. Also, is there a question that you've wanted to ask me? Some advice you're looking for? Some riz? Well, guess what? We are looking for volunteers to send us a voice message, 1 minute or less, with a question you have for me, Zerky, for the chance to be featured in an upcoming podcast. If you'd like to do this, please send it to thezerkyshow@gmail.com. That's thezerkyshow@gmail.com. I look forward to your questions. Bang! Go out and explore this beautiful world with the people you love and you care about. Zerky Show. Peace.